Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gabby. So today I'm going to be showing you my April TBR. There are, I believe, 9 books. There are 10 books on this TBR. I think that's a bit ambitious considering I have, you know, final exams and final papers due, although I don't really have that many. I have 2 final papers and 1 final exam that I have to do, but besides that I, still have a few assignments and things like that, but overall a pretty easy month, so I'm really hoping that I'm going to be able to get to all of these. So speaking of school, I'm going to start off with the books that I have to read for school. So the first one is The Dispossessed by Ursula K. Le Guin. This semester I'm taking a class specifically centered on Ursula K. Le Guin, and this is our last novel of hers. This is one of her sci-fi novels. Genuinely do not know anything else about this except for the fact that it is a sci-fi novel. All the links to every book will be in the description below. Yeah, so if you want to know what this one's about, just go to the description and find The Dispossessed and the link will be there. But yes, The Dispossessed is one that I have to read. I'm excited, but I don't want to spend an Audible credit on the audiobook, and I don't own the book, and I have and it's not on Scribd for an audiobook, but I do have the ebook on Scribd, so I'm planning on reading it as an ebook, but I'm not quite sure how I'm going to first off reading it as an ebook, and second off how I'm gonna like the book. For the most part, her books have been mediocre or okay, but I just also tend not to like school books for some reason, so we'll see how it goes. The second and the last book that I have to read for school this month is Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. So this is for my neurodiversity and young adult literature class, and I believe this features anxiety. I think so. But anyway, this is a book about Eliza, and she writes a webcomic series, and it's like extremely famous, like tons of people read it, but nobody knows, like at her school, nobody knows that it's her who writes it. And I believe one day her #1 fan, which I believe is the boy on the cover, he comes to the school and he's like a self-proclaimed #1 fan, and I believe like a romance happens between them, or something happens between them, and it goes from there. So I believe this has anxiety representation. I wish there was like a trigger warning like at the beginning that would tell me what it is that she has, but yes, I know that she has some sort of something that makes her neurodiverse. Again, these are the only 2 books that I have to read for school. I'm excited about this one more than I am about The Dispossessed, but yes, this has been on my TBR for a really long time. Like, I got it in an owl crate one time. This is not the copy because I don't know where it is. Moving really messed everything up, and I don't know where some of my books are, but I digress. So I got a new copy, but yes, I'm super excited to read this. So the next book that I want to read in the month of April is A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth. It was pitched as City of Bones meets The Cruel Prince, which sold, so there's obviously like a urban fantasy fae situation. Yeah, it says an iron-born half-fae cast out of her royal fae family, a tempestuous fury exiled to Earth from the immortal realm and hell-bent on revenge, a dutiful fae prince determined to earn his place on the throne, and the prince's brooding guard burdened with a terrible secret. So it follows those 4. They're all queer. I believe the romances in here is male-male and female-female. The author is, I believe, non-binary. Oh, let's see, does it say in the back? no, it doesn't say, but I believe that the author is non-binary. All of her characters are all queer, so really good representation. It sounds amazing, and like, look at this cover. It's absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, I'm really excited for this. I wanted to read it last month. I did not get the chance to, but I'm very excited. I'm absolutely hoping that I love this. I think I will, because like fantasy, sapphic romance, I think at least the term is sapphic romance, but I'm not entirely sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. But yes, I'm really excited to read this. The next book that I have on my TBR has been on many a TBR. I have wanted to read this for so long and I haven't, but I am determined to read it this month. And if you're following this probably won't be a surprise, but it is We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faizal. This is an ancient Arabian inspired fantasy. It's enemies to lovers. That's all I really needed to know. I believe there is, yes, one of them, the like interest is a hunter, and the other one is a prince of death, so he's an assassin, and they end up having to work together to, I believe, save the city. But I'm so excited to read this. I have been so excited to read this, and I know that I'm gonna be kicking myself that I waited so long to read this. Maybe I'll do a like read with me reading vlog for this, because I also think that I'm absolutely going to love this. I just keep not picking it up. I think one of the biggest reasons is because the font is quite small and it's like 500 pages. She's not tiny, she's a big book. She's thick. But yes, so I'm super excited to read this next month. Hopefully. You know what? No, we're gonna do it. It's happening. We're going to read We Hunt the Flame. If I do nothing else, this better be on my wrap-up. So the next two books on my TBR, well, the next three books go together, and that is I want to reread From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout and The Kingdom of Flesh and Fire by Jennifer L. Armentrout. These are the first two books in the, I'll just hold them up like this. These are the first two books in the From Blood and Ash series. I'm sure you've heard tons of people talking about this. It is an extremely popular series. It is one that I absolutely adore, absolutely love, but I want to reread these because on April 20th, A Crown of Gilded Bones comes out. I'll put the cover here. A Crown of Gilded Bones comes out, and I want to have reread these two so that I can just jump right into A Crown of Gilded Bones. I'm so excited for that. Yes, so definitely gonna reread these two. I'm pacing myself, so hopefully I'll be able to get it done. There's like over 1,200 pages just right here because they're both 600 pages long. So yes, but I'm really excited to revisit this, and this is the first time that I'm rereading it, so I'm excited to see things that I didn't see the first time and things that foreshadow later events that I just didn't pick up on, but will definitely pick up on now that it's my second time reading it. Okay, so the next book that I want to read in April is Divine Blood by Beck Michaels. This one has also been on a previous TBR, but it just didn't end up getting picked up. This one, again, has extremely small writing and, you know, quite a bit of pages, so it's a bit intimidating, but yeah. So this one, I think I've talked about this multiple times on my channel about what this is about, but it's about a, oh god, what is her name? Butchering her name. I'll put it on the screen, but that's how, I don't know how to say that. Her and she goes on an adventure and she ends up meeting a celestial prince named Cassio, and it's them going on an adventure, and the Cassio has wings, and as soon as I saw that it was a guy with the wings and a girl going on an adventure, I was like, okay, cool, sold. I'm assuming they're the love interests. But yeah, that's all I know. So, Divine Blood by Beck Michaels. Really excited to read this. So the second to last book on my TBR is A Strange Hymn by Laura, I don't know how to say her name, Talyasa, something like that. This is the second book in the Bargainer series. It's the sequel to Rhapsodic. I believe this picks up right where the other left off. And yeah, I'm interested to see where the storyline goes, because to be honest, when I first started reading this, I thought it was just going to be a love story, but then the like plot actually like was revealed, and it's actually an interesting, weird plot. So it's much more than just a love story, but the love story is like the center of it. But yeah, so basically in the first book, Callie, who is a siren, made a deal with the Bargainer, and the Bargainer is a fae who will basically help anybody in the magical world with whatever they need. Doesn't matter if it's illegal, doesn't matter, whatever, he helps them. So she ends up, when she's younger, she needed a favor from him to clean up a mess that she had made. It makes it sound like she was like making a mess like a child. She wasn't. It was an actual like situation that she needed help getting out of. So he helps her get out of the situation, and then 7 years later he calls in his bargains. So she has a bracelet, and each bead is a different favor that he did for her, and she has like 323 favors, because they ended up developing a really like a friendship after what happened to her. So this is the continuation after the first book. Interested to see where it goes and how the bigger plot continues on, if that makes sense. And the last book on my TBR this month is actually an audiobook that I'll be reading on Scribd, and it is also Chloe's from Books with Chloe's Patreon buddy read pick of the month, and that is Legendborn by Tracy Dean. This is a King Arthur retelling, but gender bent and like set in an urban city where, and it's also like dark academia, but it's set in like an urban city in a school where our main character's campus, like one day some being comes and attacks a student, and it kind of goes off from there. I'm really interested. I know that, like, I'm pretty sure it's a King Arthur retelling of some like nature, so I'm excited to see how that's gonna play into it. Other than that, I don't really know anything else about it. I just found it really interesting, and I'm really excited to read it because I have not read a King Arthur retelling. Definitely haven't read one that is like in a modern day gender bent sort of setting. So that is the last book on my April TBR. Please let me know down in the comments what you're reading for April. Have you read any of these books? And if you have, what are your thoughts on them? Or if you just want to say hello, please do leave a comment. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel, because that would really make my day. I hope you are doing well and staying safe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.